Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and the video y'all just got done seeing, I guess it was a couple, I don't know if they do content together, but they posted a video on TikTok where the woman was like, I'm HIV positive and you think I'm cute, and my man posted or typed, I'm HIV negative and I think you're cute too, and the girl said, aren't you scared they'll judge us? And the guy says, so let them. Now, me personally, you do what you do, you like who you like. I don't really care. However, I don't think normalizing HIV is a healthy thing. That's just me. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of shit. You don't need people thinking, especially younger people, thinking that like it's copacetic. Like, you know, you get HIV, although you may live to a ripe old age of 72, you will die horrifically. That's not me saying that. That's facts. Magic Johnson's still alive because the nigga is an athlete. He has an exorbitant amount of money to keep himself alive. And he has enough money to eat the right diet. And food plays an imperative part in keeping you alive. So then there's that. The average person will die like Eazy-E. Now, at the time of Eazy-E's death, he was worth $40 million. Even he died. And it might have been due to the fact that he didn't get diagnosed in a timely manner. But what I do know is, yeah, we can't be normalizing this type of shit. If you are going around having unprotected sex with randoms, you run the risk of catching that pack and dying prematurely. Now, it is 2025, so you might live to the next 30 years. But if you're 22, even with a life expectancy of 39 additional years, I think that's what they say, we just gonna round that to 40. If you're 22 and you get HIV, you're only gonna live to be about 62, 63. That's not a old age. While it is older than, you know, somebody 20 in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, life expectancy is between 72 and 81. So if you die at 62, that's a fucking tragedy. Not to mention Hulk Hogan died at 71. Betty White died at 99. Jimmy Carter died at 99. So hell, Gene Hackman died at 94. So if you die at 62, you roughly have forfeited almost 32 years of your life. I don't think you should be playing with yourself like that. If you are having unprotected sex, you might want to get that checked out. And not make these TikTok videos normalizing the fuck shit, because there's nothing normal about getting HIV. It's an autoimmune disease. It keeps you chronically ill with preventable shit. Imagine being sick and chronically like plagued with pneumonia. Yeah, it's probably not you could go the rest of your life without having to deal with that type of shit. But that's not to say you shouldn't be able to find love. However, unlike that nigga, I don't know if I'd be like, I'm not getting in a relationship. Woman tell me she's HIV positive. We got nothing more to talk about. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Because although you will live a longer life than you would have in the 80s, yeah, I don't want to have an autoimmune disease like virus. I'm cool. Speed on HIV. It says right here, it's official. HIV is no longer a terminal illness, and this is why people are trying to normalize the shit. Because you got people writing articles like this. Let me go see what the bullshit they gotta say. It says experts no longer consider HIV a terminal illness. We're at a historical moment, one expert says. Since the beginning of epidemics, AIDS-related illnesses have claimed 42.3 million lives worldwide, according to the World Health Organization. However, medical advancements have drastically changed the trajectory of the virus. In 1996, the life expectancy of someone with HIV was just 39 years old. By 2011, it had risen to 72, equivalent to that of an individual without HIV today. With access to treatment, people living with HIV can expect to live longer with HIV negative peers. For most, the virus is now a manageable chronic condition comparable to diabetes or heart disease. It means you can likely have a normal lifespan and a life similar to someone without HIV, explains Dr. Ray Martin, Chief Medical Officer at Whitman Walker Health in Washington. The transformation is largely due to the antiretroviral therapy, which has turned HIV from a fatal infection to a controllable disease. ART suppresses the virus to undetectable levels. So this is why motherfuckers are running around thinking that it's cool to normalize it because of shit like this, articles like this. I don't care how much you try to normalize it. Once again, if a woman tells me that she got HIV, I'm gone. I give a fuck. Now, you may not, the levels might be undetectable. You may not be able to transmit it from partner to partner or to your offspring. But I'm one of those people, like, I don't want to run that risk. I'm plenty cool with that. Because on the off chance, just because, like, it's controllable, I may not have access to said treatment. One, you got to have insurance. Two, you got to be able to afford it. And three, they keep raising the fucking, I think they had that Spirelli dude, that one that bought the Wu-Tang album at an auction, was jacking up the price of antiretrovirus drugs to $700 a pill. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be spending $750 a month, almost a G a month. You do the quick math, that's almost $10,000 a year just on pills. I'm cool. You probably could do things like cut cigarettes and alcohol and eat healthy and work out, but in the long run, you still gonna need those drugs because, I don't know, man-made disease calls for man-made drugs, and I may not be able to afford that monkey shit. Too much of a hassle, so it is still not normal. But it might explain why people in Atlanta have contracted 19,000 new infectious cases. So then there's that. In any event, if y'all like this episode, if it was informative, came to drop knowledge or science, whatever you into, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.